Hi, friends. Thank you for joining Raquel and I for Vision Casting. So, today's topic is all about creating culture, and we wanted to get right into it today. So, question number one, pause this and write this question down, answer it, and then when you're done, unpause this and continue. So, question number one, I want you to write about a time where you did something out of desperation. Maybe it was trying to convince someone in the business. So maybe it was trying to convince someone to buy a product or trying to convince them to join your team. So I want you to write about that situation, and I also want you to write about how it turned out in the end. And then when you're done, unpause us. Okay. All right. So just letting anyone into the business is essentially like letting a donkey into the stable and expecting it to be a thoroughbred. Like, I know that I've been there in plenty of situations where I was desperate for some kind of situation. So I'm just like literally letting anyone join the business, but that's not really how we create culture on our team. That's probably not the people that I want on my team. So culture, there's like a culture of interviews where nowadays in general, society says that talent is what we worship, right? But not in our business. It's all about character. It's all about the drive that you have. It's all about your passion. It's all about the fact that you care. And talent comes second to all of those things. And we listened to a podcast with Greg Michelle and Dave Ramsey. And one of the things that we liked about it was that he talked about hungry, humble, and smart. When you're looking for people to join your team, you should be looking for people that are hungry, humble, and smart. And that this means that you have to spend a little bit more time in the interview process. And I know it's weird as far as interview process, Raquel. What does that mean, like when we talk about interview process in an industry like ours?
Right. So we don't have time to like do this extensive interview process. So when he was speaking that, I took it as we need to connect with people, guys, and we need to know what we're looking for on our team. And we need to go to people's pages and get a feel for them, go on their posts, check out what they're posting, go in their comments, kind of see how they're replying to people and connect with them. And when you're connecting with them, ask them questions, nothing to do with the business, kind of just getting to know somebody, because that's when you want to choose. That's how you're going to navigate who you want on your team versus kind of being desperate, like the situation we talked about where you need a box for a promotion. So you just, anyone who wants to join joins. Anytime you get desperate for something, he says you get really stupid, and then you have to clean up a way bigger mess, because what you end up having to place all the volume because you enrolled someone who's not working, and it's a big mess that you have to clean up. So question number 2, you guys, is what should you look for when you're prospecting? Not just when things are going good and it's easy to uphold your standards.
Love that question.
Okay, so he said this quote, and I want to know what it means, Autumn. To be unclear is to be unkind.
So one of the things that he was talking about is like leadership and trying to really instill a certain level of culture and almost like standards in a way with your team and the people that you're leading, because that's what we're meant to do. And he said that sometimes you're going to have to say like, hey, listen, this is a hard convo, and I don't particularly want to do this. I don't enjoy these, but like this is the stuff that's going on. This we got to talk about for a second. And then he lays it out very clearly. This, like, you can stay, but all this stuff that you're doing, it's got to go. So being able to identify those behaviors and that attitude clearly spelled out and saying, like, this is the line in the sand. We don't tolerate these things, and this is the standard that we uphold. And being able to create a true culture within your team that way. So he says that, like, we don't do, that here. We bring excellence. We pay attention to the details. We are kind. We don't talk about each other or talk bad to each other. And just really saying that if you want to be a we on this team, if you want to be part of us, those are the things that we do and don't do. So you have to kind of fall in line with those a little bit. So thinking about that, like, I want question number 3. What kind of culture do you want to create for your teams?
Okay, you guys, so great culture is never going to happen by accident. So what that means is we need to create it. Like Autumn was saying, we need to and we keep saying we, because It's a team effort. We need to set the standard. And they said, like, how do you create the culture, like, and continue it? Because as your business gets bigger and bigger and bigger, you can't be in every place at every time. So he talks about talking about it all the time, like all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time. That was exactly how I said it. You're just going to talk about it all the time. And he talked about, because then when you're talking about it all the time, it's instilled in them, and then they're taking it down to their team, and it's just creating this culture that you want, building them up, thanking them, celebrating their wins, always smiling and giving them new ways to try things. It's just like giving them a voice as well, making them feel valued. There's another quote that Craig Rochelle said. He said, "Visions leak and values drift." And what that means is, like, they may have the vision, or you tell them your culture, and then they come back to work the next day and they get distracted and it just goes away. It's hard to keep 3 people going in the same direction at the same time, and let alone doing it with even more people. So tell me, Autumn, tell me about values.
I think that honestly that you can't overstate your values, especially because you're talking about, it's hard enough to keep 3 people going in the same direction. That's right. So if you're constantly putting your values, your beliefs, the things that we do, the things that we are as a team, and I'm constantly putting that culture in front of people, it's going to be easier for them to stay focused instead of easier for them to get distracted and kind of go off track. So you cannot overstate your values with your team. Put it out there. Like, tell people in the interview process, tell people when you're joining, this is who we are. This is what we do. Be proud of that in the culture that you're creating. So last question we want to finish with today is number 4. So we want you to write a list of affirmations about the team that you're attracting. So we want you to really think about the answers to questions number 2 and 3. And make sure that these affirmations should match the culture that you're trying to create, the qualities and characteristics that you identified in questions number 2 and 3. So take a couple minutes, pause us. We're at the end, but take a couple minutes and really write down affirmations that are specific to what the culture, the qualities, and the characteristics of the team that you are looking to create is. So we want to thank you guys so much for joining us. We hope that you got something from this. If you did, we just ask that you pay it forward and share this video with someone on your team that either needs vision casting or needs this message. Hope to see you guys on one of our vision castings live someday. We have them every Tuesday and Thursday. You can find the graphics in any side one of our group chats. So thank you for joining us.
Bye.